Welcome to the FanDuel Hurry Up. I'm Ariel Epstein. Joining us today, number fire in FanDuel's Jim Zanis to talk teams that are going to make the playoffs in the NFL. Thanks for joining us, Jim.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's exciting to be positive here. We're talking about the good side of the NFL, talking about teams that'll make the playoffs, positive vibes this week, potentially circling back with the downsides next week, and teams that'll miss the playoffs.
I like you're giving us some positive energy first. Let's start with the Dallas Cowboys, who are minus 156 to make the playoffs. The Cowboys went 6-10 last year. They lost their starting quarterback, Dak Prescott, to an ankle injury week 5. How come you believe that the Cowboys are going to make the playoffs this year?
It kind of goes what you said, where I do think that the injuries, getting the guys are getting back, not just Dak, but also the offensive line, the entire offensive line effectively. That's going to bode well for them. They are plus 110 to win the division. I think that's also a pretty good number. So if you want the plus juice, go there. But this number does give you some leeway in case we see a team like Washington leap up and make a good run across this new year with Ryan Fitzpatrick. But right now, my win total projections have Dallas at 10.1. Nobody else in the NFC East is at 8.0. So it's a pretty healthy cushion. So getting Dallas at minus 156 just to make the playoffs in general, to me, is a really good number. They're going to get some competition out west because there are a lot of teams there. They're pushing for the playoffs. But at minus 156, I think the Cowboys here, given the health of their offense, given how good Dak Prescott is, and given how many points they're likely to score, I'd expect this to be a very advantageous number that I want to get now before we realize how good that offense is when healthy.
Taking advantage of some closing line value. Also, the Cowboys' best odds in the NFC East at plus 110 to win the division. Another team you feel is going to make the playoffs, the Los Angeles Chargers. This one's in plus money, plus 126. Why is Justin Herbert, the quarterback of the Chargers, going to be more successful in year 2?
Because the team around him is better this year, specifically along the offensive line. They've made a lot of big improvements there, which can help Justin Herbert and help unlock this offense in their first year without Anthony Lynn. I think that Herbert with the new offensive line should look pretty good, but also a lot of toys on defense for Brandon Staley to play with. I think that's enticing here. I do think this is the best market for the Chargers because I can't stomach betting them to beat Patrick Mahomes in the division, but at plus 126 to make the playoffs, I think that they are a pretty good bet. My win total projections factor in the fact they're facing Kansas City twice, and they have them at 9.7. That is the highest among the teams not projected to win their division, right ahead of Miami and Cleveland. So firmly in the wild card hunt, plus money here, plus 126. I think this is the best market to get the Chargers at. I think they should be a team that puts up a lot of wins this year and should be in contention for a wild card spot, even though I don't expect them to be a true contender to push the Chiefs in the West.
The Chargers went 7-9 straight up last year, yet 7 of their 9 losses were all by one possession. Last one, another plus money play for a team to make the playoffs. You're going with the Minnesota Vikings. How much of this has to do with the potential of Aaron Rodgers not being the quarterback in Green Bay?
Absolutely. That is definitely part of it here. That could happen. I think that's something you should be factoring in throughout these bets. And I'm not entirely basing it off of that because right now I am assuming that Rodgers does play for Green Bay. That's in my win total projections that Rodgers is there. And even right there, the Vikings ranked 8th in the NFC in win total projections at 9.2. So if you take away Aaron Rodgers, that increases their division odds and also increases their win total projection because they do have 2 games versus Green Bay. So a couple of things could work in their favor there. It's a second year of Justin Jefferson. Their defense last year was bad, but it was also very young. You give those young guys a second year under Mike Zimmer, I'd expect some improvement from them defensively. So I like getting in on this one now before we see what happens with Rodgers. I wouldn't expect it to get a lot worse if it's confirmed that Rodgers will play for Green Bay this year. So I'd take it now and get ahead of things just in case Rodgers does get dealt.
The Vikings went 7-9 last year, just falling one spot short of making the playoffs in the NFC. That's it for us here on the FanDuel Hurry Up with Jim Zanis. I'm Ariel Epstein. Good luck to your bets, and we'll see you next time.